is the now. This is what's happening. We're working from home. We don't have jobs. Kids are out of school. Grocery stores are crazy. Like, let's accept that, and it's okay. We're all going through it together.
Welcome to the Badass Manifester podcast, keeping you inspired with high vibe content, bringing you the best manifestation and mindset tools, teachings, interviews, and answering questions to help empower you to get out of your own way and take massive action to make magic your everyday normal. I'm your host, Ashley Gordon, spiritual life and manifestation coach, helping women and spiritual entrepreneurs manifest more impact, influence, and income. It is my purpose and pleasure to help you wake up to the badass creator that you are. Let's do this. And we're back live. Shaken To Awaken, day 8. Welcome back, everybody. How are you doing today? Drop it in the comments where you're tuning in from. I'm super excited for our guest today. We're going to jump right in. I've got Brittany Caffo. She is a productivity life coach. She is a ninja when it comes to organization and getting motivated and staying motivated. And she specializes in helping male entrepreneurs get their shit together. And she's going to drop some amazing wisdom for you guys today on how to stay productive and utilize this time to focus, and how to use this time to recharge so we can show up in full ass mode. How does that sound? Say yes if you feel excited, and I'm going to bring her right on in. Brittany, welcome to Shaken To Awaken.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so happy you're here.
Me too.
So why don't you share a little bit about your story and how you became so passionate about organization?
Yeah. So as long as I can remember, I've always been that person that is very type A. I have all my shit in line, all my ducks in a row. Granted, I am human, so, I'm not like that all the time, but for the most part, I've always just been super productive. That's one thing that I kind of thrive off of, and it makes me feel like my best self. So, about 6 months ago, I decided to tap back into my passion of helping other people and really fulfill like my purpose and what I feel like I'm here on this planet to do. And I discovered life coaching, and Ashley helped me niche down, and we, came up with this amazing niche. And I'm all things productivity and organization. And so I really help people kind of get their shit together, like Ashley said. So I'm loving it, and I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my God, so cool. And just, Brittany is in the Manifest Max Impact Mastermind, and just watching her get fully in her purpose, like watching you nail into this and attract ideal clients like right away. Like you got discovery calls right off the bat, you booked your clients right off the bat. And it just goes to show how when you are in your purpose and you're solving a problem for people, that, opportunity will show up for you because you're being of service to help other people really get their shit together. And what I mentioned before is like, Brittany has a really unique framework in which she works with her clients. And part of that is about accessing like their deeper why. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So kind of like how I'm going to share my tips today, Ashley mentioned how I want to, share productivity tips. But before that, I want to share like how to recharge so that when you are productive and you are creating that new routine, like you're kind of already done the inner work. So essentially with my clients, like, why do they want to get their shit together? Why do they want to be that full CEO? A lot of guys kind of have a harder time finding their why. And so to have someone with female energy pulling that out of them really kind of opens their eyes to like, oh shit, this is exactly why I want to be in business. It's because I want to spend more hours with my family, or I want to make more money so I can travel and create memories with my girlfriend or wife or whatever that may be. So I think before you kind of solve any problem or refix anything, you really need to do the inner work and to find your why, because that just sets you up for success. It builds that foundation to, become better.
Oh my God, I love that so much. It's so true.
Yeah.
And so how has that been true for you? Like you finding your deeper why, how has that helped you recharge and kind of move forward?
In this kind of space that we're in right now,
Yeah.
like in this
Yeah.
pandemic. I mean, to be honest, last week was a shit show for me. I didn't have my normal routine. I like, was like, okay, what time it is? Guess I should start drinking wine now. Like, and I thrive off of routine. I thrive off productivity and, everything like that. So to have, everything kind of discombobulated, I'm like, oh God, like what do I do? But you know what? I took a deep breath and I was like, it's okay. Like, it's okay that I don't know what's going on right now. Nobody does. It's okay that I feel this fear or this resistance. Like, it's okay. And that I can push the restart button at any time that I feel ready to do so. And I think that's important to know, like, when you're ready, you can push that restart button and get productive and back on a new routine tomorrow. So I think just really accepting and recharging was like me last week and kind of over the weekend, so I could really like get back on my shit and focus and stay organized. So
I think that that's really important to share. And I really admire you and acknowledge you for sharing that, just because, I think most people would probably think like, oh, a productivity coach will never share when she's not being productive. But the
mhm,
truth of the matter is like, we're human beings. And I think it's so vulnerable and important to show people that even though, like, yes, you are a very productive person, this is what you teach and this is what you practice, everybody has moments where they feel like they don't want to show up, or they want to just to drink wine, or they want to check out, and
mhm.
like that is okay.
Absolutely. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I did last week. I mean, I even shared that with you and some of the girls in our group. Like, I don't have any motivation but to just focus on, a few essential things that I need to focus on, like my current clients and stuff like that. But yeah, I just had to kind of go through the motions, feel my feelings, and I think it's so important to remember too that if you want to be more productive, you have to take the time to recharge. You have to take the time to just relax. Like, otherwise you're going on burnout and that's not going to get you anywhere, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because the days that I don't feel like showing up and I feel like resting and watching TV or whatever, I
Yeah.
find that if I let myself off the hook and I give myself permission, it's actually more productive to chill than it would be for me to push through.
Absolutely. Yes. 100%. I agree.
Yeah. So cool. So what are some things you're going to share with us today?
Yeah. So, kind of like how I mentioned, so I kind of want to go through two different things. So, I want to take you through the first step is just recharging. And then the second step will be kind of more productivity, how to create new routines. So, to kind of tap into using this time to recharge, the first thing is accepting, right? Like, this is a crazy time. This has never happened before. And it's real. There's nothing we can do about it. So, the first thing that we need to come to grips with is to accept that this is our reality right now and it's not changing anytime soon. So I think just kind of really knowing that it's okay to know that this is what's happening and just accepting that this is our state for the time being and knowing that it's okay. Letting yourself adjust, like I said, everyone's routine has been thrown out of whack, whether you're working from home now or you no longer have a job or whatever the case may be. Everyone is kind of going through the similar motions and we're taking it day by day. So really utilizing this time to just take a deep breath, focus on everything that is the here and the now. Like, we are only in control of ourselves and day by day. So when you do come to a place of acceptance and a place of feeling like, okay, like this is what's happening, then it's kind of time to move the needle and say like, okay, what can I do to get back on a routine? Like, how can I, get ready? And so, like I mentioned and touched on before, if we skip this step and we just go like, okay, whatever, pushing all those feelings, fear, resistance, and like not accepting what's going on to the side, and then we try and like create this new routine or, whatever, those things are going to show back up. Like, they're not going anywhere. That's why let's work through them now. Let's address them now. Let's accept this now. And then let's get our shit together and take charge. I mean, not to say that those feelings won't come back up, but if we can work through them at the time, right now beforehand, it's going to set us up for strong foundation and, make us more successful in the long run.
absolutely love that. I know you have more. I just want to comment on that. Like that is so
Yeah.
powerful because you're talking about doing the inner work.
Hmm.
And you're so right. If you don't address like the things that are holding you back right now, you're going to sabotage yourself in the future. You're going to start
Right.
moving forward, start taking those steps, and then it's going to come back at you. And that's happened to me. So like I totally believe in that 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really just kind of like, I want everyone to just take a deep breath with me.
Mm.
And this is the now. This is what's happening. We're working from home. We don't have jobs. Kids are out of school. Grocery stores are crazy. Like, let's accept that, and it's okay. We're all going through it together. And just knowing that everything is happening for a reason. I'm one of those people that believes everything happens for a reason, whether it's good or bad. I really try and find meaning in the things that do happen. And one positive thing is maybe our world needed this at this time. I mean, like our planet is benefiting from this, lockdown essentially. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on when it comes to recharging, like really just accepting it, doing that inner work and focusing on, this is the now and it's going to be like this for a while. And it's okay. It's okay to not know what tomorrow holds and just becoming, okay with that.
It's so good. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so, kind of just to jump into the next point I wanted to bring is productivity. So, like I said, we're accepting this and, just really recognizing the importance of routines and habits. So, whether that was waking up every morning, going to the gym, or going to work, or, dropping your kids off at school, whatever that kind of looked like for you, it's completely shifted now. And so now it's kind of the time to take a look at what our new normal is and let's rework that. Let's make a new routine so that we can have some sort of structure so we're not falling behind. So we're not, falling into like a depressed kind of state, like, oh my God, like, what do I do? The world's ending, right? Like, because we're only in control of ourselves. We can't control the outside world of what's happening, but we can control what we do on the day to day. So when it comes to making a new routine, like just to kind of show like why now is the right time to kind of start. So like 6 months ago, I decided now is the right time to start a life coaching business. 2 months ago, I decided now is the right time to invest in myself and join your mastermind and really up level, my skills as a coach and refine, all that kind of stuff. And now looking back, if I didn't start now back then, I would have been like, fuck, I regret it. So why not use this time to start now? Invest in yourself, read those books, organize that closet, start that blog, whatever it may be. Now is our time to incorporate those small things, all those little things that we push under to the rug, because this experience, everything that's going on right now, only shows that we don't know what the future holds. So if there's something that you've been wanting to do it now. We're not promised tomorrow. We're not in control of anything. So why not start now? And that's like, I think one of the biggest things I've been trying to take away from this is like, we are not promised tomorrow. So it's now or it's never.
Yes. Jenna said, yes, Brittany. Yes. It's so true. Like these uncertain times require us to reevaluate what the F matters to us
Mhm.
and what matters most to us. And so good for you. I'm so proud of you for taking that leap into your dreams and your calling. Like your calling is to be a coach. Your calling is to do exactly what you're doing right now and beyond. And like if you did not take that leap, like you said, you would have regretted it. And so, yeah, now is the time to do the things that you've been wanting to do. And maybe you don't know what that is, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
getting
start
curious.
somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
if you have like a little idea or something, just pick up that book or type that first sentence, send that email, like move the needle forward. That's what I always tell my clients. Like, it's the little things over and over that matter. It's those little steps. I mean, you can't be like, oh, I'm going to get somewhere in a year. Like every single day, those 365 days, you're doing something little to move the needle. And that's how you get there. So start. Like, that's the only
So
way.
true. Yes. Yes. It's like a business. Like you look at someone's business, you look at your day one compared to someone's like year 5. And you're like,
Right.
how do they have like all those elements in place? It's literally just one thing at a time. But I
Hmm.
find that people have such a hard time with moving that needle forward. And I'm just curious, like, what your take on that is like, why, what is the biggest thing that gets in the way for people that to move the needle forward?
The first two things I would say is overwhelm and mindset. So mindset, you look at it and you're like, I can't do it. I don't know how. So many other people are doing it. So why should I start? Like all of that. And then that kind of brings on the overwhelm. Like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never started a business before. I've never started a blog, so it's all these things that are just like drowning you and it just pulls you away. Like, I don't want to do it. But like Ashley said, if you could just start and do one thing, one little thing, that is going to move the needle forward. Like, I am definitely like a structured person. I like to know everything that's going to happen. And I can't really do that within this new business that I started. Like I have to take one step at a one step at a time if it's going to work. Otherwise I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know anything about creating a website or landing pages or all of that kind of stuff, but it slowly comes together as you do those little things to move the needle. And I think it's just so important to remind yourself that it's okay to not know all the hows. You just need to do one little thing every day.
The how is not important. The
Yeah.
how is not important. And if you are really stuck in the how, that's a great opportunity to be like, I think I need a productivity life coach. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what, so many times people say, I don't know what that first step is. How can
Right.
someone figure out what the first step could be?
I mean, it kind of just depends on what you want to do, but I think just knowing like why you want to do this and finding your why, like it always, whatever you're going to do, whatever you're going to fix or achieve, always starting with that why, starting with that inner connection, because that's why you're doing it. Like you're not just doing something just to do it. You're doing it because it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you a lot of money. It's going to set your family up for success, or you're going to retire your mom. Like it's going to do something. There's a why for everything we do. We may do things subconsciously, but there's a why. We brush our teeth every day. Why? Well, because we don't want them to fall out or our breath to smell. Like, like we do things for a reason. It's just sometimes we do things so much or we don't really think like the reasoning behind it, but everything we do for a reason.
Yeah, so true. We
So,
do. We do. I know for me personally, like my journey of productivity, like I used to consider myself lazy. I know that
mhm.
might be a little bit hard to believe, but like I really did. And the thing about it was like I just didn't know my purpose and I didn't know what it was that drove me. So like the why and the mission behind like why I show up every day, why I, you know, put the things out that I put out. Like it's I thought I was lazy because I didn't have a why behind what I
Mhm.
did. So it's really interesting how like that kind of ties together.
Yeah, and a lot of people get stuck, like they think that they don't have a why, or they feel lost and they don't know their purpose. Like it's in there. Like you
Oh
might
yeah.
need to hire someone and help someone to kind of connect you to that, but everyone has something that gets their gears going and drives them to become better or to start something new. Like we all have that. It's just that, sometimes people are a little bit more stuck and they want to uncover, that kind of
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, you're so right. It's so good. And something else that I've learned as like I've grown in my business and as a person, but like also in my own productivity is prioritizing. And maybe I'm
Mhm.
jumping the gun for you. I don't know, but you can stop me if I am. But like for me, like I have to know what the end result is going to be. Like
Mhm.
if I know that like I want to play the guitar, like as a just an example,
Yeah.
right? Like if I know I want to learn a song on the guitar, I'm going to work those steps backwards. Like how am I
Mhm.
going to get to that end result of being able to play a song? Number one, do I even have a guitar? Like maybe I need to buy a guitar, right? And then that's
Mhm.
a step that I could do to move the needle forward. Just as an example, just kind of give like because for me for a long time it was like I could see the end result, but I had no clue what that step was. And so working things backward has been a really big help for me.
Yeah, no, totally. That's a lot of things that I do with my clients, wherever they see themselves or they see, a certain thing that they want to accomplish, like, okay, we're here now. How are we going to get there? Like, we create an action plan, and that's kind of like the roadmap to the end goal, to playing that guitar, buying the guitar, maybe investing in a lesson or two, carving out time in your calendar to practice every week, those little things that move the needle forward to get to the end result. And I think that's, really important, prioritizing things that you need to do in order to get to that end result.
Well, I feel really lucky right now because Michael just commented on here and he said, I'll teach you. And he's actually a really good guitar player. I know this guy that's on here.
Oh, look at you. See, you're moving the needle forward. Thank you, Michael. Thank
Can
you.
we have a Zoom guitar lesson? Danielle said, you are so knowledgeable, Brittany. Yeah, she is.
Oh, thanks, Danielle. I love you.
Becca said, I find productivity hard in my own business because there's no due date. And even my own why doesn't fully help me get unstuck.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. And that kind of comes back to that accountability. So when we have our own companies and we're working for ourselves and we're entrepreneurs and business owners, we have to create that due date. So it is hard, but that's where, working on your accountability and really carving out those things in the calendar. And maybe if you're not good at like, oh, I set a hard due date for the end of the week, maybe kind of push that back. That way, once you meet it on Thursday, you really have until Sunday and you can move the needle forward and try and get everything done on Thursday. But when reality hits and you don't get everything done on Thursday, you at least have a couple more days. So kind of creating that buffer, because you're not working for some big company that has all these structures in place, or your manager emailing you like, hey, why isn't this done? So be your own manager and take the initiative. And you really just need to remind yourself to show up and, kind of rework your timing and your plans accordingly if you're having trouble meeting your deadlines per se.
Yeah, it's all about being like, that's the beauty of having your own business, is that you can be your own boss. But that's also the hard part for a lot of people, is like, yeah, but if I don't have a due date and I'm not like, I don't have like, there's no urgency,
Right. Yeah, you have to create that urgency for yourself. And like I said, if you need to get it done by the end of the month, maybe set it back a little bit so you have like some extra cushion time to make sure that it's actually done.
I'll say that like having a team of people helping me run my business has helped me so much with just the
Yes.
accountability, because I know that it's not just me. It's like other people are waiting for me to deliver certain things so they can do their thing. So it's like handing off things makes me more accountable.
Absolutely. Yes.
Jessica said, great job, Britt. Love hearing you preach.
Oh, thanks, Jess.
Yeah, she is. She's so good. Okay. What else?
Yeah, so one more thing kind of before I break down like how we can restructure this new normal is I want to have everyone kind of just look at this experience like this is a possibility to create a new routine. Like what if you were stuck in something that wasn't serving you or wasn't doing it for you? Like this is a time that you can take advantage and create a new normal for yourself. Like
I just want to interrupt and say, like, I would phrase that as a question and put it out to you guys. How many of you feel like you were stuck in a routine that wasn't serving you?
yeah,
And
for sure.
how excited do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10 that you can now create a brand new routine that does serve you? I don't know about you guys, but I've been taking my vitamins every single day since this quarantine started because my husband's home. And like, I don't typically do that. That's like a new thing. And I love it.
Yes, girl. Good job. I'm proud of you. Take those vitamins. Take that vitamin D. All right, I had to throw in something. Come on.
We have to have sex jokes.
Yeah, I think it's so important. And even if you're like, yeah, my old routine wasn't necessarily serving me, this is a little bit of an eerie time. So you might not feel as excited for this opportunity to create a new schedule. But in reality, like it is a good way to shake things up. Like if something like this doesn't happen, we tend to get stuck in just the cycle and spinning the wheel. So I was watching something yesterday. It might have been Namaste Janae, her story. And she was like, people get lazy when things are going good. People work harder and are motivated when things are going bad. And this is an exact like way that we can apply that right now. Like things were going good and we might have got lazy. We might have got stuck in that old routine. But now that things are going bad and shit's hitting the fan, well, you better get your ass up and let's get to work. Like your money and your life is kind of depending on what you do next. So I thought that was a really good point that kind of resonated with me. I wanted to share that.
I love that. It's
yeah.
So true.
Yeah. So use this bad time to get the gears going and get your shit together. So with that said, I kind of just wanted to break down in 4 steps how to create this new normal, this new routine. So the first thing that I will start by saying is identify what's new and what's changed. So whether that's your kids are home every day, or you're working from home and you're now working, in pajamas every day, or you can't go to the gym, whatever that may be, identify what has changed in your schedule and what is no longer your normal and what's your new normal. So really just writing down those things that are different, and identify what still needs to be taken care of. So obviously bills still need to be paid. You need to work, you need to get some sort of income. Those that have lost their jobs, they're probably navigating that a little bit differently. Maybe that's homeschooling your children because they're not in school. So incorporating that time to, facilitate studying with them. Self-care, that's huge, right now, like providing that time for yourself to really do inner work and take care of yourself, that's so important. Walking your dog, like whatever the things that you need to get done, write those down and identify those as well. So once you kind of identify what's changed, what still needs to get done, create a schedule that seems doable to you and write it down. Like I don't, recommend you being like, oh, wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Like I used to wake up at 5 a.m. There's no way my ass is getting up at 5 a.m. to work out anymore. Like I can walk to my living room and, start work at 9 a.m. Why do I need to wake up 4 hours? Like I'm going to do something that's doable to me in this new normal. So for me, that's waking up at like 7:30, making coffee, breakfast, writing down, my intentions, my to-do list, and practicing, kind of my morning routine. And then I sit down and I start my day. And now I'm working out at like 4:30 once I'm done with work. So I've completely shifted my schedule, and it's not how it was before, but I've taken the things that are my new normal and I've incorporated them in something that is doable and realistic for me. I've read online like, oh, you should still wake up and get ready and get dressed and do your makeup. Fuck that. I ain't doing that. The only reason why I'm wearing makeup right now is because I'm on here, but I'm not wearing makeup. I'm still going to dress comfy, but I do brush my teeth. I do my skincare routine. I come out, I get in, nice comfy clothes. I don't just wake out of bed and like walk out here. I do try and take 15 minutes to like pull myself together so I feel ready. I think that's super important. At least for me, it really helps me kind of feel like I'm up and I'm ready to be productive and tackle the day.
I love how real you keep it. You're like, fuck that, I'm not wearing makeup. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I never wear makeup. Like I really
you're
don't.
Gorgeous. You don't need to wear makeup.
Thank you, Ashley. Right back at you. So yeah, creating that schedule that seems doable and write it down. I swear, if you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. People kind of are like, oh, I have some friends that are like, no, I know what I'm going to do in my head. I'm like, no, bitch, write it down. I promise you it's going to help you. And then factor in everything you need to do every day. So plan it out from the time you wake up until the time that you go to sleep. And obviously things are going to come up. So it's okay to deviate from the routine, know that's okay. That's part of that acceptance that you're first going to do. Like things are going to be constantly changing. You don't need to stick to it directly. Like life happens, kids might, ruin some things, and that's fine. But having a structure that you can follow and a guideline and a framework is going to keep you on track and really help you become more productive during this kind of crazy time.
I love that. Creating a new normal for yourself doesn't have to be complicated. It can be in alignment with what feels good with where you are right now. And
exactly.
Like everything you said, like all the process, the whole process up until now, like first accepting it and like getting clear on what your why is and what's going to motivate you, especially now. Exploring new possibilities for you of what you want to create and taking steps, moving the needle forward to actually just taking one step at a time. So I'm just curious for you guys listening, because Brittany just crushed it and gave you so much good information. What is like one thing right now that you're going to do to move the needle forward? What do you feel inspired by after this conversation? I'm just so curious. And we do have a comment. Marie said, kids are home every day, still need to work, take care of myself and my family, have yet to create a schedule, but I got to do that. Kids do ruin things.
Honestly, I can only imagine, Marie. I can only just visually put myself in there and trying to do all of this with little gremlins running around. Yeah, I hats off to you. But like I said, you need to just find something that will work with you that's realistic. Write it down. It doesn't have to be over the top, like, oh my God, look, I'm this great person with all this routine and structure. Like, no, we're human beings. We have children running around. We have loud roommates in the background banging dishes right now. Like there's always things that are going to happen. So just know that that's okay. We're not perfect. We can do our best to structure ourselves so we can become more productive.
Such a good response to that. And if you guys have any productivity questions, drop them in the comments. Marie said, I was taking notes as you were talking. Haha, so good. So I'll create that schedule today. And we will hold you accountable to that, Marie.
Yes, and that's one of the other things too. I want to challenge anyone that's listening right now or catching the replay or on the podcast, write down a routine and create your new normal for this time and tag me at @B_Caffo on Instagram and tag Manifest with Ash and show us that you're moving that needle forward. Like it'll take you 10 minutes. Just jot some things down and get a schedule going.
You've inspired me. I'm going to move the needle forward today because I was slacking this morning. And,
oh, girl.
For me, it's really helpful when I'm doing that needle moving, task.
That needle moving.
That needle moving task. I have to really shut out all other distractions. Like for me, like closing out other tabs and putting my phone on the charger somewhere else so I can just solely focus on like what that one thing is because I jump. I'm a jumper. I'm like, oh, I'm in the middle of doing this task. Oh, but I got to order this gift. Oh, but I got to do that. I got to write that like I'm all over the place. So for me, it's like, I got to zoom in, got to zone in, and I got to get that shit done.
Absolutely. And some people think like, oh, if I'm multitasking and doing all these things, I'm actually being like really productive. But in reality, the more multitasking you're doing, typically the less productive you are. So like, unless it's a task like 2 minutes or less, then you can kind of multitask. But when it comes to those big things that you need to get done, like you have to focus on one thing at a time. Otherwise, multitasking will not be your friend.
It's so, so true.
Yeah.
We have thanks Danielle. She dropped your Instagram handle. And if you're listening on the pod, it will be in the link in the show notes. Michael asked, I'm wondering if I should get a schedule instead of just doing whatever I want whenever.
Yeah, you fucking should, Michael. I highly, highly encourage you to just, like I said, start with writing down, what is new and changed, identify what you still need to accomplish, and create a schedule that seems doable to you. And like I said, things come up. If you don't follow it exactly, that's fine, but at least you're following some sort of structure and it will benefit you.
Because I know Michael, and I know that he's highly creative. And I think highly creative people, like he's a writer and he's a musician and he does like a lot of cool things. And so I find like even, when I'm feeling in that creative zone, it's like, I don't necessarily want to put a structure on it, but like if you're trying to write something, you actually have to schedule that into your schedule.
Yeah, but it is hard. That's kind of like a tricky subject too, because it's like you can't control when you're most creative. Like last night at 11:30 p.m., I was like, you know what? My ass is writing a book, and I started a whole Word document on my book framework. And so that was like an idea, and I couldn't control. I wanted to go to sleep at 11:30, but I was like, nope, I need to take advantage of this. So I got out my laptop and I started writing for like a good hour.
I have the chills.
So what?
I have the chills. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. So take advantage of when you're creative. But like I said, if you can create some sort of routine and structure and try and follow it, it's okay if you deviate, but it'll help you just stay more organized.
So true. And